There it was again, in the yearbook for the third year in a row, most likely to succeed. I have never really liked that phrase, but each year, as I learn more things, I like that phrase even less. Most of the kids on my campus have no idea who I am. I mean, who I really am. My name is never going to be found under those phrases in the yearbook. You know, the ones that all the popular kids look at first to find where their name is, while other kids quickly skip over those same pages to avoid not seeing their name. The success of a person doesn't begin or end with the picture and a phrase, however. It begins with the person attached to the face and what they are able to do for others, not for themselves. Today we have over 900,000 children known abused in 1 year. 800,000 of those children ended up in foster care last year, while 1,500 of those children died while waiting for a new home that would be safe. Foster children spend most of their childhood being passed around like a cardboard box from house to house. Their afternoons are not filled with activities with friends, but with adults and appointments with their social workers, therapists, advocates, and doctors. Foster children usually don't spend their time thinking about what college they will attend, but instead what is going to happen to them when they age out of the system at the age of 18 without having a family to call their own. To a foster child, success is surviving the system, not repeating it. Foster children, for the most part, dream of being adopted into a family that will keep them safe. They dream of being accepted for whom they are and not for what their parents did to them. They dream of having someone guide them and teach them so that one day they might be considered one of those persons most likely to succeed. I know these things because I was a foster child. For many years, I was the child who could not attend school because I was locked up in a room with an alarm. Inside that room, I had a potty chair that never seemed to be emptied and that smelled. I was the child who had one bowl of top ramen a day for a meal that was put on my floor like I was a dog. I was the child who was physically and sexually abused, not once, but many times until I testified in court and put those men in prison. I was the child who was removed in the middle of the night without as much as even a baby picture and taken to a place where I didn't know a single person. I was the child who was considered by some of the social workers, therapists, and court system emotionally disturbed and most likely not going to succeed in anything. Anything. I was the child who didn't have hope. I was the child who didn't have hope for many years. Without hope, you have no trust in anything or anyone. I remember being at Child Haven, the state orphanage. I remember adults coming in and leaving without children all of the time. I remember other kids saying, "There goes my hope." It didn't take me long to figure out that hope was not a person's name. Hope meant a chance to trade in your old baggage for a brand new set of experiences. A brand new set of experiences like a safe home, someone you could trust, and food on the table every day. That is what hope really meant. I remember the day when I thought my hope had arrived. It was a cold, wet January day. One of the social workers came to get me and said that a lady wanted to visit with me for a while. She took me to a special sofa. It was very soft and blue. It was the sofa where a lot of children met new people, and the other kids would watch who was on the sofa from the play area. I had never been to the sofa before. I was a little nervous. What would happen if my hope decided to leave? What would the kids ask me at dinner time? Would I ever get another chance to come back to the sofa? The lady and I talked for a while. We talked about the things that I liked to do, the things that I liked to eat, and the toys that I liked playing with while I was at Child Haven. She then told me about the rules at our house. She asked me if I thought I could follow those rules. I told her that they sounded like the same rules from Child Haven and that I would be able to follow them at her house too. She then told me that she had to leave so she could go talk with someone. I stayed on the blue couch until the social worker came back to get me. I asked the social worker if the lady was coming back, and she said yes. but not until tomorrow. When I went to bed that night, I wasn't sure if hope was going to come back tomorrow or not. All I could do was wait. I was too nervous to sleep a lot. Tomorrow was a very long time away. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning when hope came back in the door. I was sure glad to see hope, but more glad to leave with hope that day. Hope. It sounds so simple to give to someone, but if it is so simple to give to someone, why do we still have so many kids in foster care and orphanages without it? Shouldn't they be able to hope for a successful life too? Today I consider myself as someone with a lot of hope. Hope doesn't mean success, but it sure helps guide you to the road of success. Knowing that I have a lot of hope, it is then my job to share that same hope with other kids who are in need of it, like I was. We all share our hope in different ways. The way I share my hope is by writing booklets about my experiences while in foster care. When my new mom and I left Child Haven that day, she told me that my afternoons were going to be different. Instead of seeing so many adults, my afternoons were going to be filled with tutoring, dance classes, and some karate classes so I could be around other children. She told me that I would still have to talk to her and write down some of my thoughts and what was happening to me. I agreed. After I started writing down some of my thoughts, my mom told me that they sounded like a story that other kids might benefit from reading. Some of the titles include All Dressed Up, A New Place to Call Home, Why Do I Have to Move Again, and Growing Up with an Addictive Parent. I hope that the adults who are reading them will understand that they are not I hope that the adults who are reading them will have a better understanding of what the life of a foster child is like. I hope that the foster kids who are reading the booklets can understand that they are not alone and that other kids are going through the same things that they are going through. While it might not be easy, it can be done, I know. I also share my hope by conducting scrapbook workshops for foster children. When you are removed in the middle of the night from your home, pictures are the last thing on anyone's mind. Many children, like myself, do not have baby pictures to turn in for school projects when the teachers ask for them. While we can't make them up, we can begin to take pictures and start recording our new memories from whatever age we are. Building memories is the first step to seeing hope for many children. But my favorite way to share my hope happens every year when I get to play Santa to foster children. There is definitely something magical when a child, who might not otherwise get a new toy, opens a present just for them. With the help of my community, we have been able to do this over 8,000 times. That's 8,000 smiles and 8,000 new memories of hope. Since my adoption, I have learned a lot about hope and success. I have learned that hope keeps you moving, hope allows you to dream, and that when you share your hope, you seem to get more hope yourself. I have also learned that while my peers might be able to cast their vote each year on who they think is most likely to succeed, whether or not someone succeeds is up to them and the hope that they have been given. It is not up to someone else to decide. Besides, at the end of each year, I get out one of my mom's colored markers, make a fancy box around my face in the yearbook, and write succeeding. I don't need the words most likely to. Thank you.